Buckle up, it's about to get real. Welcome to Interviews with Ashanti. I am your host, and I'm thrilled to dive into the journeys of fascinating individuals from all walks of life. We'll explore their stories, their struggles, and their successes. The real talk you won't want to miss. Let's get into it. Interviews with Ashanti. I have the superpreneur Shatika with me. She goes by Miss T. She's my guest today. She's also an admin with Get Money Meta. She's a content creator. She just does a whole lot. So I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself for the people that don't know you and just talk about a little bit about yourself and what you want them to know about you.
My name is Shatica Miles, and if there's one thing you should know about me, I do carry a lot of love and light wherever I go. I believe that life is not just about surviving. I believe life is about thriving and lifting others along the way. I've always been unique in spirit, so some people don't like that because they want to fit you into these little boxes. But my uniqueness comes with strength, and people don't understand it often, to be honest.
I agree with you 100%. Yes, we're not going to fit in a box because we are born to stand out. We're not made to fit in no boxes. God made all of us uniquely in our own way for a purpose.
Amen to that.
I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in and ask my first question. What inspired you to pursue current path, businesses, and passions that you are in right now?
Well, let's see. We could start with the big C. The big C happened. And when that happened and things started shutting down, the bad thing about it was my husband has an essential business, so he still had to work. So it left me with a lot of time to myself, and I'm an empty nester. So I spent a lot of days and nights by myself, put it that way, which then
Right.
inspired me to go in a lot of different directions. After being in the medical field for 23 years, I decided that it was time for me to pivot because my health was declining. Right before that, I had to have a major back surgery. I apologize for saying that, but I had a major back surgery. Things that changed in my life quickly during the big C. I lost my mother in law at the beginning of the whole ordeal and having surgery, and my kids not being at home with me, nor could they be near me because I have an autoimmune disorder. And it was a lot. And I think my breaking point that really changed the way I was thinking about life was being at this job for so long, and the physicians I worked for had retired and there were new administrators in place. I was getting more work, but my pay scale hadn't changed. And that's when I decided that, you know what, I'm smarter than them. And I say it respectfully. I'm smarter than them and I can go my own way because I'm running their businesses, making them millions of dollars, but yet I'm still living paycheck to paycheck.
You're right about that.
So that was a real transformation for me right then and there, and right in itself, because I was taught growing up like that I had to be loyal to the people that were aligned with me. And right now, I'm in the phase of my life where I'm unlearning a lot of things that were taught to me because they couldn't teach me any different because they didn't know better. But when you start learning better, you start doing better. So I'm changing a lot of things that were handed to me in that aspect. So what I decided is I was like, hey, I'm good at talking to people anyway. So why not be on YouTube? I watch people on YouTube. Why not be on YouTube? So I did that. And then I'm like, hey, there's this new thing called TikTok. I'm going to get on there too. So
Right.
I'm on all platforms. I do have a blog site that I have things on there. I haven't been over there in a while. I used to drop full articles on a daily basis, but I kind of slowed down there because like I said, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. So there's a life is life and there's a lot going on.
Yes, yes, you're right. That's one thing that a lot of people don't highlight a lot of times when you are doing content when you are trying to pursue a business, when you are passions, dreams, what have you, you still have duties. A lot of people, like, sometimes I feel like forget that we are human because we still have life. Life is happening. You have to cook, you have to clean, you have to take care of your children, you have priorities and things that have to be taken care of while you're still in the pursuit of that happiness.
I think a lot of people don't realize once your children are grown, that doesn't mean that you're still not a parent. If my children call me, I had three, I have a son and two daughters. If they call me and say, Mom, can you do? I'm still at that place where I'm going to do.
I'm the same way with my son being 18 and my daughter 17, which is they're they're like November, December. And it's like to this morning he called and he's like, I have two paychecks that I forgot to pick up. Do you know where I can cash them? I'm like, your bank? He's like, oh, what would I do without you? So I don't think that they're ever gonna stop asking for our advice, asking for our help. There's just the same way it is for us. If I get sick, I'm still calling my mom. What do I do about this? Because she's still gonna have those remedies. She's still gonna be able to give me the advice that I may not want to hear, but it's gonna be useful for my life.
Correct. I understand. I'd like to say this. A lot of people that I have come into contact with in reference to social media in particular, people put up reels every day. And I love the Get Money Meta group because I've met a lot of interesting people. I've become familiar with a lot of different people. But one thing I don't know that they know because I had never really expressed it before is that when they put reels up, a lot of times I can't hear them. I experienced losing 40% of my hearing in both my ears back in 2008. I had a patient because I worked in a doctor's office and then I moved into the hospital. But long story short, I had a patient that had shingles at the time. She didn't say that she had shingles and she gave me a hug. And I didn't know. The next morning when I woke up, part of my face was paralyzed on the left side. So I had, not only did I get the shingles that she had, it attached to my eardrums and it caused me to lose my hearing. So for years, I went not being able to hear before I decided to get hearing aids. Maybe about 5 years ago, I just decided that, well, with the complaints of my family, that I needed to get checked out because I was saying, what did you say? Can you speak up? I can't hear.
Right.
Uh, But I went through a lot of therapy after that ordeal, and I have something that's still on my brain because of it. But I don't know if you ever heard of Bell's palsy, but that's what happened to me. When you get shingles, it attaches to the nerves and it paralyzes. So I went through all types of therapy or whatever. But long story short, I finally got my hearing aids. So when I watch reels, this is funny. When I watch reels, I'm trying to read your lips. If you don't have captions on your reel, it's very hard for me to follow. It's just like me watching
Wow.
a television show. If I watch a television show, I have the captions on. Regardless if they're not worded right or not, it still gives me some sort of reference because I can't hear fully, even with the hearing aids. Sometimes things sound super muffled.
Wow, that is something new to hear, and I did not know shingles. My mom, this is crazy. My mom had shingles a couple of months ago, and that's something new. I didn't know that it could do that and that it could attach itself to the nerves and cause issues like that. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that.
Listen, it was one of many hard experiences that I had in my life. My kids, when at the time I had to wear an eye patch. If you've ever seen an old movie where there's pirates and things and they have those patches
Yes.
over their eye, I had to wear that because my eye would constantly run, constantly. It was so
Wow.
disgusting. But my kids wouldn't even walk anywhere with me. I remember trying to go to the mall with them and they're like, we're not going with you with that thing on your eye. And I laugh about it now, but then I was in tears, wondering why my kids didn't like me because my face was distorted.
I'm so happy that you're here and that you made it through that because I know that that had to have been really difficult to navigate and then to explain and then especially when it comes to kids, because I think kids are just kids. They just say
Yeah.
whatever comes to their mind. They don't consider the emotional aspect of things. They just say whatever comes up in their little minds. I feel like that. But thank you for sharing that too, because now that's something that we can add captions. We can try doing different things just to make sure, because you never really think about how many other people are going through that and may not be able to hear or know what we're saying in videos and things of that nature. I
It's
appreciate
been a very hard process that I navigate.
I can understand that. I appreciate you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
That brings us into our next question. What's the biggest challenge you've overcome and how did it shape you?
The biggest challenge I've overcame was growing up in a household with a single mother who was sick.
Wow. How old were you?
I had, when my mother was diagnosed with systemic scleroderma, I was 6 years old. For those of you who are not familiar with systemic scleroderma, it's where your autoimmune system attacks itself, meaning that her body's immune system began to overact and make more collagen, which in turn made the skin hard. It made her blood vessels harden. It made her internal organs harden and get thick, stiff, and tight.
Oh, wow.
Her face became very shiny. You know how you can open the palm of your hand? My mom couldn't open the palm of her hand.
Just stiffen her. It would put her in a state of stiffness where she couldn't really do a lot.
She couldn't move. It became so bad. First, she was walking. I think by the time I turned 8, she needed to be in a wheelchair at all times. My mom didn't do any of the cooking. She couldn't. At the time, she got divorced from my stepfather, and it was just me, my brother, and my sister. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings.
So, in a
So,
sense, you had to be a caretaker, not just for her while you're a child, but you also had to be a mother essentially to your siblings.
correct.
Mm,
I learned at an early age how to go to the grocery store to get groceries and the right bills. And while my friends were out learning how to ride bikes, I was learning how to hook up feeding tubes so that my mother could have some type of nutrients in her body.
so it's like you were already doing adult things at a very early age. Wow, that is. You are
And
a
I
strong woman. You know that.
thank you. It took a lot. I didn't when I was growing up. So it's not that I didn't have people around me. I don't want it to sound like I didn't have a family. My family was the stuff. I have a first cousin. She supports me with everything. My mother's sister, one of my best friends, she supports me with everything. My grandmother, there's people in my life. I had my uncles. They were there, but they were always working. So they didn't live with us. So they didn't get to see the suffering, but for when we got together, I got to see it full fledged every day to the point where I remember one time my mother got sick and she had a fever, and I got an emergency appointment for her to go to the doctor, and they end up doing an emergency surgery right then and there and took some of her intestines out because it had got infected. And she had what they call a colostomy bag after that, where they pull a portion of it, the intestine out through the stomach, and you put a bag over it. So you're basically defecating in this bag. You don't
Wow.
move your bowels like regular people. You're doing everything in that bag. So that was an ordeal. It was a lot.
Imagine. So what you're pretty much saying is that that was one of the biggest challenges that you had to overcome. And so, how did that shape you? How did that kind of define you in a sense? I know that it probably, well, I'm not going to say probably, I know that it was really difficult. Like you said, your friends are outside playing, hanging out, dealing with children things, and you're already having to be an adult at the age of 6. How did that
Yeah.
define your life? How did that kind of change you and turn you into who you are
Um,
today?
well, it made me realize at an early age that my calling is to care for people. That's been my biggest thing. My first job was working for a non medical home care business. And I would go to different people's houses that maybe they needed light housekeeping, maybe they needed help with laundry or bathing. And that's what I did prior to me even working in the hospital or the doctor's office as well. I don't know. I've always had this love for people, always, for the
I
longest
see it
time.
as
And I would say the way this has shaped me is that it made me not take life for granted. My mother died when I was 19 years old. My sister was 17. My brother was 12 at the time. And my mother, as sick as she was, she smiled every day. She was in pain all the time, but she never said. So she taught me how to be strong. And she molded all three of us differently, which is surprisingly, all three of us are like night and day. But we found a love for life through the eyes of someone we loved who was sick. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it's true.
It does. It was like that with my dad. My dad was like that. This man was going through brain cancer. The cancer was everywhere. He was barely surviving. And he's like, I'm going to my granddaughter's soccer game. I'm going to this. We're going to that. And I'm just like, you don't even look like you can walk. And he's cracking jokes and probably one of the most resilient, strongest men I've ever met in my life. He didn't let nothing beat him down. To the very last day, he was sane. He didn't miss a beat. Probably one of the only people that I know that just like he loved life. He was not ready to go at all. He could not make peace with death. And if you talked about it, he would never respond to it. When you sit down with a family member and you talk about like, their last wishes, he never wanted to have those conversations. That was probably because in his mind he was going to make it. In his mind, doctors telling him that he was only going to be around for 2-3 weeks. He's like, y'all don't know that. Me messed up. I got this. So he lived a year after, but he was like that too. Very. I think it's an old school thing.
Wow.
They went through a lot. Their families have been through a lot. So I think that I'm not going to cry about this. I got to fight through this. And
Hmm.
you can tell God was in control the whole time, for sure, over their lives in that sense.
I understand. Speaking of cancer, I'll tell you something I've not shared with anyone. I was asked to be a receiver for Good Money Meta. I think that was toward the end of July, but what no one knew, and I didn't mention because I've never mentioned this on my Facebook. Back in within the last year, has been kind of rough. I lost my father-in-law at the end of December. Not sure, he just went really downhill. So anyhow, we were having a celebration of life for him in April. And when I found out that my sister in law, who was more like a sister to me, I've known her since I was 15 years old, was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I was her primary caretaker during this ordeal. She lost her battle just this past August on the 13th. But I never told anyone, hey, I lost my sister. I never asked anyone to pray for me. I'm just so private. But
You are. I remember I reached out to you. I remember that you were a receiver, and I thought that you were an admin, and I had to go correct the post because your support was so extreme. So I really thought that you were already an admin. And I remember telling you that. And I remember like, reaching out to you just to check on you, see how you were doing. I didn't even know if anything was wrong. And you shared that with me. And I was just trying to figure out anything you need, how we could be there for you. And then you became an admin. And it's like you were so resilient through it all. It's almost like you weren't it's almost like you have people in the world when they're going through stuff, they want the whole world to know that they're going through it because they need grace, maybe. They need time to get back to the swing of things. I'm one of those people because I don't handle death well. I just don't. Like some people, they handle death better or they just don't grieve it until like years later, right? But at some point, you're still going to have to grieve it, right? With me, once I start losing people and it becomes so much, I can't, I fold. I get into this. I have to get myself out of it because it becomes so overwhelming and so emotional for me. I attach myself to people a lot, and I think it's because I just love people. I really love humans. I love learning about people. So I commend you for that because you didn't make a pinnacle focus of that, even though you were going through so much during that time.
Right when I was asked to be a receiver, it's funny. I remember I had to put her in hospice. I had to make that decision. And they said, "Are you still going to be able to do this?" And I'm thinking at the time, I can't do this. I got to focus on her. But I'm like, I could probably do both. I multitask pretty good. And she didn't want, we discussed this. We discussed a lot, but we discussed different things. And she was the happiest person. I'm seriously, if you ever wanted to meet someone that exhibited anything more than you can ever imagine and it seemed magical, that was Shelley. She was just everything. And never, you wouldn't even had known that she had cancer because she didn't display it. Everything was almost like a little bit of a mystery with her all the time I've known her. She is just a ray of light, and she never pain medicine the whole time. She never did anything besides the chemotherapy. And I don't know, I miss her dearly, but I still have my nephews.
Memory will always live on. Absolutely.
It was a lot.
You've definitely been through a lot and have experienced a lot, and you carry it really well too. You show so much kindness and support to others. You're definitely very inspirational and very admired by so many of us because like you don't allow anything to break you, and that's just a beautiful thing to see. Not saying that it's anything wrong when it does because things break us, but I just think it's beautiful to see somebody that can still go through things in life and sometimes that are very difficult for us, and then you still find a way to maneuver, you still find a way to.
You cannot stay stuck. But one of the reasons I realized that when I left my job, for instance, it wasn't because of one thing or another. I felt stuck. I felt closed in. I felt like I was losing Shatika. So I had to pivot. And I always say to people, life throws you after lemon, but it's a matter of what you turn it into. So I always say, we're turning lemons to gems because lemons, you think about it, lemons are cute. They're bright yellow, things of that nature, but they're sour. So it's all of what you make out of it. I could have been a lot of things. I was a teenage mother. People see me and they think, oh, she has it all together. And I came from a very different type of place. And half of the things I'm telling you right now, it doesn't even, this is barely scraping the surface. But
You
I
should
know we
definitely
don't have much
consider like maybe
time.
writing a book or getting back into your blog and speaking on this stuff. It's something that I've learned about being in Get Money Meta and being online. If we have a presence and a platform to share things, because I think it's a lot of people that are going through a lot of things, and a lot of times people feel like they're alone. They're the only ones that are maybe dealing with these things. And I think it's imperative and really important for us to have conversations that people don't normally have, because it's a lot of people. Somebody can hear something that you say today that can give them hope for another day. Words have power, kindness has power, just checking on a person has power. So you should definitely consider that because you definitely have a story to tell that is filled of many things, adversities, but you were able to overcome each one of them and still being so strong and resilient through it and being kind, because a lot of times when we're dealing with stuff, it turns people bitter or it makes them angry. But
Correct.
it's like with you, you still show kindness. You still amplify all the good qualities of you, even through all those challenging things that you went through.
Well, that I definitely learned from my father.
Who,
Definitely
by
learned
the
from my
way, is
father.
Mr. Sharp, might I add.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea. I love my dad so much. We're really close.
You. So I want to ask, how did becoming an admin with Get Money Meta turn up things a notch for you, or did it turn up a notches for you? What was the difference in doing content creating and just doing it solo, and then being part of this incredible community? What was that shift for you?
Well, let me tell you a funny story. So I joined Get Money Meta in February of 2025. I can't remember if I posted one thing in the group that same day that I joined. I can't remember that part. That's a little fuzzy, but I remember submitting a post and it being declined. And I'm like, well, let me go back over here and keep posting in these positivity groups because I must have did something wrong. And I'm an over analyzer. I try not to. I tell people not to. When I'm telling people not to over analyze, I'm speaking to myself. I tend to overanalyze every situation and try to look at it from different perspectives, not just mine. It could be yours or whomever's. There's always three sides to a story. So that's how I think. I'm overanalyzing everything. Anyhow, long story short, I joined Get Money Meta and that post got declined and I kind of fell back a little bit. And in between time, we're still grieving as a family from losing my father-in-law. So all these birthdays are coming up, February, then March birthdays, then the April birthdays, and we're doing this celebration of life. And between my sister-in-law, six, I'm navigating chemo and I'm still doing my YouTube videos, not consistently. I haven't been consistent, which I'm working on now because Facebook seems like it's consuming a good bit of time compared to my YouTube. So I'm working on all these things. In June, I decided I'm going to go visit my dad. I need a vacation. Things are getting bad, and I need his love and strength and energy to get me back on course. So my husband and our youngest daughter, her boyfriend, we all go out to California to visit and things are magical. I'm in the ocean. I'm on the beach. I'm feeling good again. I'm feeling rejuvenated. And when I came back toward the end of June, I'm like, I get money meta and everybody else. Here I am. Here's my spiel. And I just dived in and started following people and I'm loving their content. I love their energy. Their vibe's good. It's almost magnetic. I'm attracted to these people. They seem like they have something going on, especially when Earl reached out to me. He sent me a message and messenger and asked me about being in his YouTube growth program. And there's a group of talented content creators in there, and they have their own YouTube channels. And it's uplifting to see others doing what you're trying to do, especially when you don't know the full scope of how to navigate it. So his name is Earl. And I'm like, this is something. My father's name is Earl. This guy must be about some serious business. So I might want to align with him a little bit. And I gave it a go. And then I spoke with my father about it. And he's like, honey, you're already navigating all these things. You just started three businesses and you're helping your husband with his business and you're helping your kids with their business. We're a family of entrepreneurs.
Right, I love it.
My husband has his own electrical company. I, in turn, started three. So what I have, and I'm jumping around, that's what I do.
That's okay. Go
But
ahead.
what I have, I started a non-medical home care business. It's called Infinite Smiles Home Care Agency. It's here in the state of Pennsylvania. So I had that going on. And then I started a non medical supply company where, let me rephrase that, as medical drop offs, where we could pick prescriptions for patients and drop them off at their house to supply them with whatever they need as far as medical supplies. And then we have Who's CTV, which is my favorite of the babies because Who's CTV is a LLC here in the state of Pennsylvania. And people always say, well, what is Who's CTV? Well, Who's CTV was founded because people needed to learn how to accept accountability. And people think when you're spilling the tea, you've heard that term, correct? Spilling the tea was meant to be gossip, but I consider it knowledge. So the tea that I spill is knowledge for all.
Yes, I have. I love that. I'm definitely familiar with your channel and have watched some of your content, and you are really uplifting and inspiring and wanting to give people the opportunity and motivation to get back out there to chase their dreams despite of age of setbacks of anything that anybody's going through.
Well, you know what? I have to mention this before I forget. If anyone is unfamiliar with the city of Pittsburgh, which is where I'm from, there are a lot of great people, intelligent people that came from our city. Although it's not as small as people think, but Roberto Clemente played baseball here. Mario Lemieux was a hockey player here. We had the infamous, notorious Billy Strayhorn, who composed for Duke Ellington. We've had rappers like Mac Miller and Wiz Khalifa come from Pittsburgh. The iconic August Wilson, who won a Pulitzer Prize. He composed plays and wrote stories. We've had like Mark Cuban. He's a self-made billionaire, but he's from Pittsburgh. You might have seen him on Shark Tank. We've had different actors and actresses. Pittsburgh, a lot of people think we're just Steel City, but it's more than that. It's a beautiful place. If you've never been, please visit. We still have one last jazz club here that I actually visited recently.
That's incredible. And they definitely got Shatika there too. That's about to blow as well. So you coming from the right place and the right angle, ma'am.
Okay, I am here. And you know what? I have to tell you, as far as my name, Shatika, people have stereotyped me for long. You ever fill out a job application and get turned down for the job and just because they couldn't pronounce your name?
I have personally, yes.
So I was just going to tell you. So my name, how I've perceived it and broke it down is Sha, Sha, means light. And Tika, Tica, means strength. So not only am I love, I'm light, and I define the strength that I carry with me each and every time I meet someone because I'm trying to build connections, bridges. I'm trying to uplift people. I'm trying to give back because I feel like that's what I was made for.
Absolutely. And you do that. You definitely show that day in, day out. You show up every day, and I see you always trying to help others, trying to uplift others, trying to bring people onto the Get Money Meta team. I always see you giving shout outs. Anywhere that you can help, I always see you help. Even me, you help me editing video. Like you just go above and beyond for so many people. And definitely gonna always give you your flowers because you go above and beyond, just always trying to help others and uplift others. You really are like what Veronica said. She's the real deal. Yes, you are. Absolutely, you're incredible, and we are so grateful and thankful for everything that you do for the team. I see you every day showing up even when you're sick, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're going
Um,
through personal things. You don't ever let any of that get in the way of showing up and being there for others. So I truly just want to say thank you for being that way because it means
welcome.
everything to a lot of us.
You're welcome. A lot of people don't know I was sick for the whole month of September, the entire month of September. Here I am, very honored that Earl gave me a spot in the movie. I don't even know if everyone knew that, but I got a little snip in the movie, a little snippet, and I couldn't even breathe through my nose at the time, to say the
But you
least.
still did it.
Absolutely. I'm a
Yeah, like you
doer.
still did it. Like you, there was no excuse behind it. You still went out there and did it.
I did. That's just me.
You're truly
That's just me.
resilient. I love that. I wanted to ask, as a content creator or somebody that may be wanting to pursue some of the businesses that you are in pursuit of, what advice could you give them?
Well, I would say this. If you're in it for money and that's your sole reason behind it, then you're not doing the right thing. You have to have a purpose behind it besides money because there's a lot of long hours. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into making content. I see that. I look at the people that are in our circle, they're at it 24/7, and I know they are. I heard Veronica say that she spends time writing her skits out of what she's going to do prior. I think you need to really focus on something like find your niche in whatever you're trying to do and have purpose behind it besides money. The money's going to come based on what you put into it. And that comes with anything. I can say that from when my husband was working for someone else's company before he even started his own. You have to have a mission. What's your mission? Is your mission to help people? Is your mission to almost be a vessel for them to see things through you so that they can do the same thing? What's the mission? Like, if you do things with no purpose and the only purpose is money, sometimes you may still get the money, but it might not last that long if you don't think of it from the viewer's perspective. Because when you're doing content, you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about the viewer. What can you do for them? And I'll tell you something personal that I do. So when I'm creating something for someone else, because it's not designed for me all the time, unless it's overthinking perspective or even a little bit for procrastination, because sometimes I do procrastinate. I'm not perfect, I'm flawed. So, anyhow, in reference to you making a piece of content, what I think of, and I may have shared this with you and I can't remember, I don't want to be a vitamin for anyone. I don't want to be a vitamin. I want to be the painkiller. If I can help you experience no pain to get to where you're going, where you don't have to do half of the things I had to do to get to where I came from, then I've won at the end of the day because I did what God intended for me to do, which was to help alleviate that pain.
I love that. That is so deep. You want to be a painkiller and not a vitamin. That's true because vitamins have to be maintained and we don't know if they're going to work. But being a
Correct.
painkiller, we know that that's going to cut that. You're not going to go through that pain. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty deep to say it like that.
There's just so much that I can say about being a content creator. Sometimes I don't have the energy to record. I have good energy, but sometimes your mood can reflect how you sound when you're recording something. So I can't record every day. It's not that I can't. It's just that if I don't feel it, I don't put it out there, if that makes sense.
It does. Veronica spoke on that at the interview that I had with her, and she said that there's days when you have really tough days, and there may be something that she has in her draft, and something happens. She's having a really rough day, and she'll take that draft and post that where she was in a lighter and better mood because she doesn't want to
Mhm.
project what she's going through to her audience. She doesn't want to like whatever pain or whatever that we may be going through that day. If our mood is not right, if we're not feeling 100%, then she's going to always try and have some content as a backup to where she can post on that on those days when it is a really tough day. So I think that was really cool that she does that, and I'm trying to embody more of that. I'm trying to learn how to do more of that as well because that definitely helps for sure.
So I was going to say that there's a couple things that I really want people to know about me. So I hope you don't mind that I'm going to share that at this time. I love gardening. I started that during the big C. One of the things that happened to us as a family is my husband had two heart attacks.
Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
He had two heart attacks and we didn't know it until we took him to the hospital almost 48 hours after the fact. Anyway, that encouraged us to start growing our own food, and we juice a lot. We had a lot of lifestyle changes, such as I don't eat meat, but I love that a lot of people still post pictures of their dinner and things like that. I still love to look at meat, but I'm not eating meat anymore, which was a huge transition. But I found out that chicken was very triggering for my body. So that's when we made that transition. Also, I have a lot of people, I want to say this is not as rudely as possible because someone told me the other day that I was being hostile when they sent me a message in my inbox. And I'm like, I'm not being hostile, but there's a couple things that are off limits. I might post a picture here and there of my kids after I get consent. I have to get consent. They don't want to be on social media. They don't want to be in the public eye. Some people, it's just not for them, right?
Yes, you're right about that.
I get inboxes almost on a daily basis from random men and women wanting to know my relationship status. Do you know how fundamental reading is?
Right.
After you're asked 30 times, please tell me where you're from, it's tiring. It really is. So I'll usually say, can you please read the about section? And they're like, you don't have that much in there. Designed that way. Because if you really, the way it's set up is if you go to the about section, you could click links. I have links to different places that you can either shop if you want to. If you want to read something powerful and uplifting, you could go over to my website at who's TV.com because they didn't have my original handle at the time for an IP address. Anyhow, there's different things set up where you can see me in different aspects of my life. Guess so to say. The only thing I don't have associated with my Shatica Miles platform is my soap, which people don't know that I do, but I have shared that with you.
You tell the audience about your soaps and what they can do for them.
Well, you have to be careful of how you word things on Amazon, but Infinite Soap is on Amazon. It's Infinite Storefront, I should say, is the actual name. I'm in the process of getting a trademark done for my soap. So that's a thing. What I want to tell people is my soap is on Amazon. I'll make sure I share the link more often. I need to learn how to share more of what I got going on. I'm a work in progress. Be patient.
That's okay. Hey, you help others, you got us to help you. Okay? So whatever we can do to help you get that out, we will.
Well,
Considering
I
it's so
do
many.
make it.
Go ahead.
I have a little video clip where I could show you the process, but I make all the soap in my house. Last year around this time, I decided I was already making soap for myself. I make body lotions, I make body washes, I make lip balms. I do all that stuff for myself because I have sensitive skin. You heard the story I was talking about my mother. Some of those things didn't fall far from me. So I do have sensitive skin, so I have to make these products for myself. I couldn't put soap on my face, which really inspired me in the beginning to make soap in the first place. But I do make soaps and sell them on Amazon. I have tried Etsy, it didn't work out too much for me. But what I really want people to know is that sometimes when you think you have it all figured out in life, like me being at a job for 23 years, you don't have it all figured out. Growth comes in different shapes, it comes in different sizes. Do not limit yourself. We are limitless individuals, and the places we're going, we can't even imagine.
I agree with you with that 100%. I didn't think that I would be here doing podcasts, and it's something that I really love. Something that I've wanted to do forever, but I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and I just pushed it back. But now it's like it's a purpose in this, and it's like for women like you to be able to come on here and share stories and uplift others and show others that they can also do anything that they put their mind to.
True. I don't know if you have any more questions, but I would like to say I would like to give a shout out real quick to my husband, my love. We've been together since I was 15 years old. He was 16 when we met.
Wow.
We didn't get married until we were in our 20s after we had our children. Things got heated up kind of quick, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned him. When you see me, I'm a reflection of him as well because we are one.
You embody that, and I absolutely adore the relationship that you have with him. I've seen it, and I love how he supports everything that you do, which is so profound because in a lot of times now, especially in today's society, we don't see love the way that we should see it. We might have not grew up seeing it correctly. When it comes to relationship, it seems like a tug of war right now. Women should do this, men should do this, women should act like this, men should act like that. But it just goes to show that. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I could hear you before.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what it's doing, but it just wasn't working. But it's just beautiful to see image of what it looks like. I know that it takes hard work. I know that it's not all roses and
Right.
rainbows, but it's amazing to see two people come together and be together for 20 years, 30 years. Like my parents were together 50 years.
Right.
And just to see what two people can build together. And I don't know, it's just beautiful for tarnish. It's oh, be single, be this, be that. And I'm just like, no, love is love. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. I know that there's more to life than just being by yourself. I think it's great to have a lot of accomplishments, but I know that it's important to have that because that's essentially your best friend for life.
I'm telling you, he is my best friend. Hey, listen, shout out to Sweetie Ward. So she's in the Get Money Meta crew, and she put a reel up about, I don't think something like, you haven't really loved unless you packed and threatened to go or something like that. And oh boy, did that resonate with me. I could remember it was yesterday. It hasn't always been perfect. People see us. If you say we met in person, and if you see me, he's going to be there, and vice versa. That's how it is. If you don't see one, then you really would think something's wrong. But she put that up, and that was real. That was raw. That's the stuff that I love. And I wanted to give her a shout out real quick because that was true. If you've never packed your bags one time and thinking you're out, then is it real?
Parents were
I guess.
like that. My parents were like you. It would be hilarious just to watch them because my dad would have, let's just say, a lazy moment, and here comes my mom, and she's yapping. She's like, and he'll get up, he'll get done whatever needs to be done because he just didn't want to hear her mouth. But I've seen them go through different challenges in life. But one thing that I know is they always found a way back to each other. They always found a way to work through things. And it was beautiful for me just to see that. Because now it's like every time I get on the phone, it's like, oh, I'm getting divorced. Dang, everyone's getting divorced. What? I don't know. I just want people to know that real love does exist. And you and your husband are an incredible example of that. It does exist. It does take a lot of work. But if you put in the work, you can have what you want.
You're right. It takes a lot of work. And there's things that have happened in our relationship. We didn't get here overnight yet. It contrary to what people may believe. Or I love they send messages and say, please tell me, are you married? And if I say yes, they tell me I'm lying because I don't post pictures of my husband.
Oh, wow. I think when it comes to people's relationships, a lot of times being on a social platform, it's like any and everybody can see stuff. I think a lot of times people are like, don't put, because you have to respect the other person. If they don't want to be a part of that, then it's, I'm not going to put you there because
Yeah,
everyone
but
has a,
I was
good.
going to say, if they were really smart and instead of saying I don't post pictures of my husband, we were on, I told you we went to see my dad in June. I posted a picture on my profile in June of me and my husband walking on the beach. So they
There
missed
you
it.
have
That
it,
sounds
folks.
personal.
Love that though. Shout out to your husband and shout out to Sweetie Ward. I'm gonna have to check that reel out.
Oh,
Um,
you do. It's wonderful.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Let me ask you, what's next for you, or what are your next big goals? What can the world expect from you that's coming up?
Well, let's see. Let me think about that for a sec. I have so many plans. I could tell you something real quick that my grandmother, she's old school. My father in law, they were really good friends, old school. They didn't understand why I had my hands in everything. Well, you started a business doing this and you want to be over here and you want to do this. I'm not limiting myself. So, whatever God sends my way, maybe helping a friend with a podcast, I'm going to do it.
Oh, thank you. You did. I was like, I don't know how to do the editing. I don't know how to do. And she's like, hold on, friend. Listen, to the rescue. I got you. And you did it so effortlessly. And it means everything to me because I am still navigating this platform. I'm still learning. So it helps me to have people that want to help me, who throw ideas to me, who say, hey, maybe this would be cool. I'll take it all. Because that's the point of learning. You're not with Errol, like if you think about what Errol did and created this huge platform with all these people from all walks of life, from all over the globe, it's
I love it.
incredible because a lot of people don't really understand the magnitude and the blessing in that. So for me, it was just like, hey, if you are a part of something that's bigger than you, embrace it, love it, love on those people, help those. If somebody's starting a new business tomorrow, hey, come on over here to this podcast. Let's highlight it, because I
Right.
don't. We don't know where it can reach and what it can do for people. Everyone's trying to do something. Everyone has a goal, a passion in mind. So I don't mind highlighting it out and putting it out there so that people know, hey, who are you? What do you represent? What is, because you never know who you can reach with that. Your story can touch people and that may give them drive. Because a lot
Right.
of times people are always like, I can't do this and I can't do that. And no, I'm
Yeah.
too old. I'm too young. I'm not experienced. We will make 1,000 excuses. But it's like when you hear somebody that's been through things that you might have not even been through and they're doing it, that's gonna light some fire under your, and you're gonna be
Right.
like, I gotta do this, because if she can do it, I can surely do it. But then to have a team that will help you, that will push you, that will promote you,
Right.
that will pray for you, that will care for you, we all come together and we do things together. It's a blessing. It is so surreal to me and I just love it.
I love that too. I do. You know what? I got to say this. If anybody in our group and anyone in the Get Money Meta group needs help with something, reach out. I swallowed my pride yesterday. I don't know if everyone's familiar with Norma Iris Volkers, but I needed help yesterday and I reached out to Norma and I had to swallow my pride. I'm very prideful. I don't ask for help. I was taught that at a young age. And I asked for help yesterday. There are amazing people in the group. Utilize each other, connect with each other. If someone doesn't want to help you, one door closes, another one will open because you know me now, the real me.
I know that's
Re-
right. And that
Yeah,
is what
reach
we're here
out.
for. This is what we're exactly here for, because what somebody else may not know, somebody else does. Not just to highlight that, we have so many people are in so many different industries. We have a book that Errol made that is just on content creating and how everything came about, Get Money Meta, and how that grew and just the opportunity that that opens up to people. We have an admin that just came on, I think a week ago, and she's already monetized. We have Jasmine, for example, who started out with less than 1,000 followers, now is past 4,000. So we are
Yeah.
literally, the amount of growth that is just being seen in our community is incredible. And then we got people that are travel agents, and they're not just travel agents, they can help you build your own travel business and they take you through the whole process. Like Latoya Chin, Asante, we have people who are in the insurance industry, you name it, we got it. We have
Right,
movies, we have, it's so much stuff that is coming about. And that's the thing, I kind of feel like whatever you have, reach out. If I don't know, somebody's gonna know. We can all help each other because our resources doesn't just end with one person. It's so many of us and we move in numbers and we can definitely help each other with whatever it is. So that's just how I feel about it. You're absolutely right about that.
right. There's so much opportunity for everyone to win. I want to see everyone win. This isn't one sided. People have to put your pride to the side and say, hey, I need help. If you really wanted to start an LLC for your podcast, you can reach out to me. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to say, save your coin. Don't go pay for it. Do it yourself. That's what I did. I didn't just start when the whole LLC thing came about. I think when my husband started his business, I'm sure he paid for his, but by the time it came around to me, I'm cheap. Not, I shouldn't even say cheap. I'm frugal. So I'm not spending
Resourceful.
my coin. I'm not spending my coin. So I did it myself. My trademark. Everybody thinks, oh, I need to hire an attorney because I want to trademark that or the third. You don't need to. You can do it yourself. All you need is a little bit of time. And if it's for something for you that you want to invest in a legacy, not just for the now. This is long term longevity I'm talking about. Do it yourself if you can. Save your money for another type of investment. Maybe buy something. I'm a big person on buying land. I think you should buy something to save that money.
Yes, something that can last you past your lifetime, something that you can pass on. Absolutely. Because I think you can buy shoes, clothes, makeup, all of the essential little things that you want, but really, what are you buying that can make you a millionaire essentially? We have people who bought houses in the early 2000s for in areas that was like maybe 80, 90,000, 70,000. Those same houses today are worth half a million to a million. And it just goes to show that those were smart investments. Those were
Correct.
excellent investments. And if they needed money today, guess what? They can go and sell that house. They can pull equity out of that house. They can get a
Mhm.
renter for that house. It is going to be an everlasting way for them to continue making passive income.
Money. The goal is to make money while you sleep. If you're not doing that, and this is where you're trying to go, you might want to get with Get Money Meta.
I know that's right. Tell them again.
Listen, for whoever's out there, if you are not familiar with Get Money Meta, founded by Earl Hassel, Kayla Jade, listen, this group of individuals, there's over 185K in the group. There's talented people. There are business owners, there are chefs, there are people that have their own childcare companies, people that have their own home care agencies. There are people working out there, everyday people. And what I mean by everyday people, they're people just like you. We all came from somewhere. What you see now may not be who we were, but this is who we are now. And we are willing to help you grow in these social media streets. You are not alone when you have a team behind you. There's a brilliant group of people waiting for you. So if you have not looked up Get Money Meta and see what it's about, if you have not, you should. I don't know what you're waiting for. If you have not purchased Earl's book, Nothing Like the Present, to get you started. Why look at something online? Why not have it in your hand so you can absorb that knowledge to get to where you're trying to go? There's so many ways to get there with Get Money Meta. I hands down, I don't understand why people haven't joined yet.
Absolutely.
When I joined, I think I had about 1,200 followers. I'm now at 4,200 followers. And don't even think of them as followers. I really think of them as family. I'm really family oriented. So Get Money Meta is more than just a team to me. It's actually a family. It's a way of life. I don't pretend to know the whole mission of everything because I think it's bigger than even they know the mission. But I'll just put that there. I think it's bigger than what people perceive it to be. It's much bigger. I feel that.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right about that. My success with Get Money Meta has been the same. It started off with 700 followers. I am past 6K now, and this has been a 2 month thing for me. So it's been incredible. The amount of support, love, people reaching out, wanting to help you, wanting to be a part of it. It's just been incredible. I don't know. I tell anybody, if you want to really do it. I think you made a post yesterday saying, why would you get on Facebook and not make money? Absolutely. You can get on TikTok and make money. You can have a YouTube channel and make money. Any platform that you want to be on, you can make money. So why
Yeah,
not get paid for what you post? People are literally watching your life and paying you for living your life, literally. So I
right.
just kind of feel like why not get with the best team in the world that's really gonna show you that hey, you can also do this. There's nothing that's holding you back from doing it. You just
Yeah,
gotta
and
put in the work.
there's different ways to monetize on Facebook besides just getting the content monetization. You can sell things under your marketplace. Everyone should have a marketplace and they offer you the ability to sell products. So if you wanted to sell t-shirts, say you're iron emblems on t-shirts or you have some type of graphic design or you want to print pictures for people to reuse and repurpose in any way, shape or form, you can sell that right inside your Facebook marketplace. If you don't know how to set that up, then you have a whole team. Somebody knows how to get it started. Reach out to me. I'll help.
Figure it out one way or another. It's too many of us
Right,
not to. Somebody gonna know something.
right. And also, you can start selling digital products right inside your Facebook marketplace. So don't box yourself in and think that there's just that one stream of revenue to come in. You can get multiple streams of revenue from multiple places. I write articles on something called Medium. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but if I put an article on there, I get paid. And you do a lot. I do, I have an Amazon storefront. People visit it, I get paid. If people buy something, I get paid. Things are happening. You have to make them happen. I attract things that happen to me. I do.
That is very true. Well, Shatika, it's been a pleasure having you on today as our guest. I have one more last question for you, just so our listeners are able to reach out to you and connect with you. Where can listeners find you online?
My Facebook profile is Shatica Miles, my full name, but I also have a page, Who's Tea TV. It's WHOSETEA TV, and that's on Facebook. I have a page for my soap. It's Infinite Storefront. That's on Facebook. All these things are linked in my bio. My website, where I do my blog posts, I have some recipes on there, things of that nature. If you want to know a little bit more about me, that's on there. That's who's TV.com. I also have TikTok, that's who's CTV. YouTube, that's who's CTV. Something that people may not know, I also have a second TikTok called Healthy Tea, where I talk about all health stuff since I was in the medical field. I also have a podcast through who's CTV is Healthy Tea as well.
That's incredible. That's awesome. So we can pretty much find you on all platforms.
Yes, I'm on Lemonade too. I'm everywhere.
Coming on today, it's been incredible listening to your story. I wish you all the best on all your endeavors and everything that you have going on. I appreciate everybody that joined us today. Definitely was an inspiring interview. Learned a lot about you that we didn't know. And just want to say, continue being amazing, continue inspiring. We're grateful for your kindness and for showing up today for me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me, and I wish you many more continued successes with interviews with Ashanti.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Well, you have yourself a wonderful weekend ahead.
All right, I will do.
All right. Bye bye.